Okay. All right, perfect. So anytime that I sit at the charts before a London session, whether that be London or New York session, I always take a look at Forex Factory. And I'm just looking here to see what pairs have news releases for the night or for the morning. So the reason that I scheduled this session for 1 a.m. is because in 30 minutes we have GBP news. So I'm going to be looking for a potential trade opportunity on GBP USD. And since the beginning of the week, if any of you guys watched the weekly Outlook video, I was talking about just different scenarios that we could see unfolding, but I have been long GBP USD since the beginning of the week. So I'm still expecting to go long this pair unless I see something in the dollar index that would suggest otherwise. So just to start out, the morning or the night, wherever you're at, I always check Forex Factory, see where we're at in terms of what news releases we have coming up for the day or for the night. And then basically I'll just analyze the dollar index and figure out what I'm looking for, right? So I need to see if I'm looking to go long cable, then I'm looking for the dollar index to show me weakness. So far, if we look at the dollar index, let's start with the daily time frame real quick. All right, so yesterday's candle, you can see that we came below and we swept out this low here. And if you've watched the daily technicals video, I've been talking about this here. So on a daily time frame in the dollar index, we're still in a consolidation. So in terms of determining the direction, it's rather difficult just because we're moving sideways. I mean, you guys can see that we're not moving anywhere. So it's just holding this range here in between this high and this low. So until we get a clear breakout, whether that be lower or higher, it's hard to catch a longer term trending move on any of the majors. So with that being said, in terms of any trades that I'm looking at right now or until the dollar index breaks this range, it's all short-term trades. So I'm just looking for 20 pips, 30 pips, give or take, depending on what the market gives me. I mean, if we get a strong push up of 50 pips or something, then obviously that would be more than expected, and obvious that would be, beneficial. But in terms of what I'm looking for in my trades right now with the dollar index like this, I'm really just looking for 20, 30 pips, short little day trades, get in, get out, and then be done. So with the dollar index, we're trading into this ICT bullish order block here, and so far it's holding as support. So you can see yesterday we wicked down, we took out the stops that were below this low, which technically is a support level, right? We broke the support level, but this is the main support level that we're trading off of because it's the same swing that took out some stops. So it took out these highs over here. So this ICT bullish order block is going to be relatively strong because you could tell that they were buying here because they broke above these highs. Not to mention we're on a daily time frame. So anytime the market trades into a key higher time frame level, whether that be support or resistance based off the daily, 4-hour, whatever time frame you're analyzing, if the market trades into that higher time frame level, it typically has a pretty strong reaction off of that level because of the fact that it's a higher time frame level, right? So in terms of what direction I see on the dollar index, I still think it's bearish. Now, if we break above these highs in here, so really if we break above this candle's high, then I would have to switch my direction. So I'm just going to mark this level on my charts. So this is pretty much what I do every night. I just kind of sit here and then formulate ideas based off what I see in the charts and how I'm going to react to what I see. So this high, if the market comes and trades back above this high, then obviously any shorts that I was looking for, so any selling opportunity on the dollar index would at least for the short term, be out of the picture because it broke a new high. So we've made a higher high that would indicate bullish market structure. And at that point, I wouldn't feel comfortable selling just because we would have just taken out a high. Unless we come above, take out the high, and then push down really quickly, then it could be a potential selling opportunity. But as of right now, I don't have any indication to believe that this is going to go up unless we break this high. So getting a little bit more refined, once this candle closed bearish like this, strongly, below this candle here, this then becomes an ICT bearish order block. So that's a higher time frame resistance level. And so far, the market's trading into it now, but I'm expecting this gray box to hold as resistance and the market to trade lower. So since we've taken out this key low, the next lows that I'm going to be looking for in terms of lower prices for the dollar index is this here, and then 88.94. Okay. If I get a move below this, then I can almost guarantee that they're going to want to come below here because they wouldn't come. So unless they come below here, reject, and then start pushing up higher, that could be a scenario. But if they come all the way down here, then they're more than likely going to want to just take this low out anyways. So again, still expecting further downside on the dollar index. So once I go on a daily time frame and figure out, what I'm looking at, then I drop down to a 4-hour time frame. And from there, I'm just marking up any levels of support or resistance that are a little bit more refined, right? So on a daily time frame, you can't see this candle because it's probably, within all of these candles as a daily candle. But since we're on a 4-hour, each candlestick represents 4 hours worth of time. So we can see more or less what the market is doing by dropping into a lower time frame. But we always need to start with a higher time frame analysis to figure out what direction we think the market's going to go. So if we think the dollar index is going to go down for the rest of the day, then I'm not going to be looking for any buys in the dollar index. I would only be looking for sells. I don't trade the dollar index, but I'm just saying in terms of what I would be looking for, I always base my trades off of the higher time frame. So if I'm in a bullish trend on a higher time frame, I'm not looking for sells in the market. So make sure you keep that, in your head anytime that you're looking for trades. You never want to be counter trend trading. So if the market is bullish on a daily and you're looking to sell on a 15-minute, it's stupid. It's not smart. You're going to probably lose money. You want to be trading in the same direction as the higher time frame. Does that make sense? So just type yes in the chat box if what I'm saying so far makes sense. Okay, perfect. Appreciate it. All right, so dollar index, we could want to trade up into this up candle here. This is an ICT bearish order block on a 4-hour time frame. So far we're rejecting after taking out these highs. So it could want to push lower from here, but again, it is a potential opportunity that we could trade up into this level here. Now, to confirm my bearish bias on the dollar index, you see this up candle here? If we can break below this, that would then confirm this as an ICT bearish order block. And that would also confirm to me that the sellers are in the marketplace. So if I can let me make this a little bigger. So if I can get a push down like that and then a retest, then I'd be looking for a good opportunity to get short to make new lows, right? So I'm just trying to outline some ideas for you guys so you can see and also understand what I'm looking at and also how I'm analyzing the charts to figure out, how I'm going to base my trade and when I'm actually going to enter the trade. So on our 4-hour, we got our levels marked out. Let me actually delete this. Okay, we drop down to an hourly time frame. All right, so all this line here would just confirm the break in market structure, okay? So if we get a break below that, that's the same thing I just outlined on the 4-hour time frame. Retest, push lower, okay? So if we can get that to unfold while GBP USD is pushing up, that would suggest to me that, you know, more than likely that the trade would go in our favor, simply because the pairs are acting in sync with each other, right? So if the dollar index is pushing up, GBP USD should be pushing down, and vice versa. If GBP USD is pushing up, dollar index should be pushing down, and vice versa from there. So yeah, I don't really like to go any lower than an hourly time frame really until I get the level broken. So here, if it's going to continue higher and trade up into this level, we could see a possible reaction off of this down candle here. Once we broke above it, that confirmed as an ICT bullish order block. So if we do retest this and trade up in here, then find resistance and trade lower, that could be a scenario as well. So I just keep all these things, and I have a little notepad that I keep next to my desk whenever I'm sitting in front of the charts, and I just write down all these ideas. Or, you know, if you have a whiteboard or computer notes, wherever you feel comfortable taking down all this stuff, write down multiple different ideas or scenarios that you see potentially unfolding in the market, because if one of them unfolds, you want to know how you're going to react off that. And another thing, I mean, if you use TradingView, they have this little ideas thing. So I've been using this recently. You can like save your ideas and update them along the way. So that's a neat little feature that TradingView has that MetaTrader doesn't have, that I've been taking advantage of. So if any of you guys use TradingView, try that out. Maybe that's a good option for you. But okay, so dollar index, we know that we're waiting for a break below this. A break below would confirm that the sellers are in the market, and we're going to be looking for shorts. So if we look at cable, we are expecting higher prices, right? So let's drop down to a daily, and we're going to do the same thing that we just did with dollar index. Looking at GBP USD, we were talking about this level, and this level in the previous market review videos. Notice we've taken all those levels out and so far have rejected. I don't necessarily think we're in a bearish market yet, but it is possible that we could see a potential retracement on GBP USD. So if dollar index does start to push higher, this market may want to trade lower. Again, it doesn't confirm that it's a bearish market until we would break this low here on a daily time frame. Until that happens, we're still in a bullish market, right? And the reason being is because got a low. We got a low here. Oh. Sorry, I'm trying to copy this. Okay. Low here, low here. So you can see that the market is making low, high, low, higher high, low, higher high, low, higher high, low, higher high. Get a little bit of a retracement here, but ultimately we don't break market structure. Low, push up, right? So we're still in a bullish market. If we do break this, obviously it's not going to break it today. I mean, the market is not going to just retrace 300 pips. It's highly unlikely that would happen. So if we do break this low, then I would consider that a bearish market, be looking for a retest, and then short it. But again, this is higher time frame. I don't expect to be selling this right now or anything, but I'm just giving you guys an idea of why I'm still looking for longs, right? Until I have a breakdown of this low, then I still have confirmed bullish market structure, and I wouldn't be looking to sell it until this broke. So let's drop down to a 4-hour time frame. Okay. So I'm not sure if any of you guys watched my fib video, the video on the Fibonacci levels, but one of the things I was talking about in there is draw your fibs on the swing that broke market structure, okay? So I'm going to explain why I'm drawing my fib on this swing here and not this one, okay? So if we look at the market, all right, if we look at the market, we were essentially just consolidating in this area, right? So the market's consolidating along this area here, formed this low, which is a higher low on a daily time frame. Then we pushed higher, all right? Once we broke above this box here, that indicated a break in market structure, right, on a 4-hour time frame. The reason being because we have a high, a low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. So it was bearish on a 4-hour time frame, right? Once we got this push here, it never broke this high. So at this point, it was never a confirmed break in market structure yet. This little push down here was when the market makers or whoever controls the market, they were pushing down here, they were buying the market, and then it pushed up and broke above this consolidation. This forms an ICT bullish order block on a 4-hour time frame. So we can draw that out. So I'm just marking out both of the candles. So if this was an 8-hour time frame, this would be one candle. So I'm just marking them both out. This is just how ICT teaches it. In terms, if it's 2 down candles next to each other, then we just use both the candles. So I'm using both the candles as an ICT bullish order block. And I'm drawing my fibs on this swing because this is the last low that was formed before the break in market structure happened. Okay? So we've got this low, pushed up, broke market structure. All right? So if I draw my fib from that low to this high, we got 50% of the range here, 61.8, 70.5, and 79. These 3 levels are all good buying opportunities. So this yellow box is good buying opportunity for GBP USD. The reason that I say that is because it's within the swing that led to the break in market structure. If we do take it below into these levels, we're taking out these lows in here and these lows. All right, so we're taking out anybody who got long this market and was profitable on this move. So the market will drive below there, coming into this ICT bullish order block, which also lines up with the 79% retracement level. So if we can get a move down into here on the news, then I think this would be a good buying opportunity with stop loss below here. All right, so based off a 4-hour time frame, this would be a 50 pip stop, and then we would be targeting this high. Okay, 180 pips. This is a 4-hour time frame, guys, so just keep in mind this could be a trade idea that unfolds over the next 2 days. I'm just working my way down the time frames as we go, and I'm trying to show you guys how I analyze each time frame and how I get a more refined look on price action. So we know what we're looking for the 4-hour time frame. If we break below this low on a 4-hour basis, then I'm expecting more than likely a further retracement. Okay? So at that point, I would be sitting on the side, not taking a long until I've had a clear, defined break in market structure. All right, so on an hourly time frame, you can see that I'm going to adjust this gray box to this candle here now. All right. This candle is an hourly ICT bullish order block aligning with 70.5, 79 retracement level. And the reason that I'm using this over the 4-hour time frame is because as I'm moving down into a lower time frame, if I look and see, you know, what I'm getting in market structure, then I can actually refine my swing, my fibs, to this level here, because this swing on an hourly time frame led to this break in market structure. So this fib strategy or anything like that is able to be used on any time frame. It doesn't matter what time frame you use it on at all. So once we broke above it here, I can use this as one of my fib points and then map it out to the high that's formed. All right, so we can't map this high out until it's actually formed. Once we trade away from it like this, then we know that the high is more than likely in place, and we could put the top point of our fib here. So we're just drawing our fib from low to high, and we're now waiting for a retracement into these potential levels. Notice how the 79% retracement level on the hourly time frame also below these lows. So we could get the deeper retracement, which is based off the 4-hour time frame. Totally fine. It doesn't matter where the market comes down to and starts, you know, reversing from. Because when it's pushing into the level, I'm not looking to enter right away. A lot of people actually get that confused. They think, you know, when the market's trading right into it, that you have to enter right away. And for my particular strategy, I like to wait until I get the confirmation before I enter. So all of this is going to make sense in just a second with what I'm explaining. But if we trade into this yellow box, we know that it's the 4-hour optimal buying levels. So now if we look on a 15-minute time frame, I can refine this even more in terms of what I'm going to be looking at in terms of price action. So let me actually take this fib off. So since I have the yellow box marked out, I don't really need my fibs on here at the moment because we know what we're looking for. All right. So this is what I'm going to be looking to see on a 15-minute time frame. Can we get a push down into this box on the news release? If we do get a push down into the box on the news release, great. I'm not looking to buy it at that very moment. I want it to prove to me that the market's going to go higher. So many people enter as soon as it trades there, and you can do that. I mean, some people's strategies work that way. For me in particular, I like to wait for the confirmation. So what I'm going to be looking for is trade into this level. Once we do that, I'll stay. Why is my chart doing this? Once we do that, I'll be staying on a 5 to 15-minute time frame looking for this particular price action here. So I'm going to be looking for a low to form, then a push up. All right, so that confirms, all right, we've got some buyers in the market. Then I'm going to look for a higher low to form. Once the higher low forms, I'm going to wait until I get a break in market structure. Okay? So this high that was formed, if I can get a push down, retest, break in market structure, retest of the market structure, broken, then I would, why does it keep doing that? Then I would go long, and I would be targeting basically each swing high. So I'd look for this swing high here. So from our objective, that'd be 75 pips. And we would be able to risk below the first low form. So instead of risking 50 pips like we would if we were trading off of a 4-hour, if we get this to form, we would only have a 24 pip stop loss, 75 pip target. So 3-to-1 reward to risk. Does that make sense, guys? Type yes in the chat box if it makes sense. Okay, cool. Perfect. So now I'm just waiting. So this is really all I do in terms of, when I'm looking at the charts to see what I'm looking for. So we looked at the news. We know that GBP News has 3 news releases, 2 medium impact and 1 high impact at 1:30, which is 7 minutes away now. And so far, this is pushing down. Let's see what dollar index is doing. All right, dollar index is pushing up. So you'll see as I'm doing this, I tend to switch time frames a lot just because I like to see what the candle looks like. So I just switched to a daily time frame and I'm looking at it and I see a strong bullish candle. So I just try to analyze, see what kind of price action we're getting. At the current moment, I don't see any signs of weakness in the market, just simply because we're reacting off of probably a lower time frame support level. Yep. So you can see off a 5-minute time frame, they've got an ICT bullish order block right here, and we came down, traded into it, and we're reacting off of that. And no big deal. I mean, that doesn't mean that the dollar index is just going to push up for the rest of the day. I mean, think about it. This is only a 5-minute support level. We base our analysis off of a higher time frame, and based off the higher time frame, we have a breakdown and an ICT bearish order block that we're trading into right now. So keep in mind, a 5-minute time frame, this can look super bullish, but you need to stay in line with the higher time frame. So let's go back to an hourly. Let me see what this level is that I have marked out. And also another thing that you guys should do, so yeah, we got 5 minutes before the news. So if you guys aren't marking up your charts on a daily basis, make sure that you do it, because I mean, seriously, you'll see so much more by just doing that. Like look for example, this was on March 28th. I marked out. Sorry, I was just reading something. I lost my train of thought now. If you mark this out on March 28th, well, I may have marked it out a little after March 28th, but the point is I marked this level out because it's an hourly ICT bullish order block. It's also the same low before breaking market structure, right? So this high back here was broken on this swing. So I drew this out, and now look at the influence that this level has had on price. Broke above it, support, support. Didn't trade down to it, pushed away, support. Traded up, traded through it. Now support is what? Turn resistance. Resistance. Trades lower, trades up, doesn't quite, it does go above it, but immediately rejects, trades lower, works in the level, finds some resistance, trades lower, pushes up one more time, lower, resistance, resistance. So you can get the idea. So, and if you don't have these things marked up on your charts, so if this wasn't here, it doesn't mean anything to us because we don't know about it unless you could see it. And what's up, Keith? Unless you could see it in the, unless you could see it without it drawn out, I don't understand how anybody would see any success from this. So seriously, make sure that you're marking up your charts. I mean, it is literally the key. So I'm just going to put that back. All right. And yeah, so I mean, you could see like even this level, right? So this was a market structure break that we had here. Right now, you can see that that old level here it was resistance, broke through the resistance, traded into it, found a little support, traded through it again, resistance, traded down, now we're finding resistance at it again. So I use support and resistance in terms of the ICT bullish and bearish order blocks, but also you need to mark out all of your levels on your charts, right? So mark out the ICT bullish order blocks before breaks in market structure. Mark out the market structure that you're within. And you can see, if you keep them on your charts for just a little bit of time, how influential they act as support and resistance levels. All right, so let me switch back to the cable chart because we're about to have news release, and we'll see what we get. So if any of you guys have any questions as I've been talking this whole time, just write them down or just put them somewhere so you can remember what your question is, because after this news release and towards the end of the session, then I am going to I'll answer any questions you guys have. Yes, from Forex Factory. I check Forex Factory every time before I sit at the charts to see what news releases we got coming up. So you guys will also realize one of the biggest things in trading is waiting. It is a total waiting game. All right, so we're trading into this 15-minute support level, ICT bullish order block. It's also the same low before breaking the market structure. All right, look at that. So we just traded right into the yellow box. Perfect. So that's what we're expecting. Seeing a little bit of rejection so far. While that's doing its thing, I'm just going to talk about this real quick. So we had this little area of market structure. Once this low was formed and we broke above it, you can see that that was now a break in market structure. So where do I look to enter? On the retest of the break in market structure. Bam, entry here, long. So just showing you guys an example of that. All right, so we're getting a deep push. Let's drop down to a 5-minute, see what we get. Whoa, that's big. So keep in mind, we know what we're looking for. This is exactly why, too, I want to illustrate that I don't just enter as soon as it trades into the level. I wait for it to prove it to me, right? So just remember what we're looking for in terms of market structure, right? We're looking for, say this is the low. We're looking for a push up, higher low to form. Still not going to enter here. Going to wait for that break. Once we get the break above the high, any pullback down would be a good opportunity to buy, because it would be a retest of the market structure, as well as we are within a 4-hour support level. All right. And we've also just cleared out a shit ton of stops. So anybody who was long this market intraday, these guys, these guys, these guys were now all just taken out by this one sweep lower that we've had. All right. So, and also I want to talk about this. Okay, so if we close, say this candle, let's go to an hourly. Say this candle closes super bearish like this. Well, let me pull this. This gray box could then act as support turn resistance. We could get a push into there and then a continuation lower for the remainder of London session into New York. So at the moment, I don't see anything clear for this until I get the things in price action that I told you guys we're looking for. I'm actually going to draw my fib back on here. Since we're in the golden box, we know that we're in a logical area, so I'm going to delete that. I'm going to delete this. I'm just going to clear up the charts a little bit so you guys aren't too confused on what we're looking at. All right, so 4 hour, we're still within optimal buying areas. 70.5, 61.8, 79, all logical areas to buy at. But again, my plan, my strategy, I'm not looking to buy as soon as that happens. I'm going to wait for the confirmation on the 15-minute or the 5-minute. If I don't get that confirmation and it does respect this gray box as old support, now turn resistance, then we can short it based off of that. If it shows us bearish price action in here, so just to illustrate this, we'd be looking for the complete opposite. Say it pushes up into the gray box, forms a high, trades lower, pushes back up, forms a lower high, then we get a breakdown, breaking below this low, indicating that we got a break in market structure on a lower time frame within a higher time frame, old support level now turned resistance, which was in the form of this. Why does that look different? Yeah, so it's on a 30-minute time frame. It comes in the form of an ICT bullish order block on a 30-minute time frame. So if it does push back up in here and this acts as resistance, how would we know that it's acting as resistance? Well, we'll see bearish price action, which will look like this. We'll form a high, then we'll form a low, lower high, lower low. Look for a retest of that break in market structure, and then short it. Okay. So while we're waiting, do you guys have any questions so far? You'll also realize that trading could be relatively boring because there can be, times where you're just sitting here. Yeah, I'm recording it, Arnold. Well, at least I think so. So as long as Zoom is recording it for me, it should be saved. So yeah, I'm actually going to post the recording up in the Facebook group for people that weren't able to make it. So yeah, I do plan on posting that as long as it records. But it's showing me right now that it is recording, so we should be okay. Please explain what a bearish or bullish ICT market block is. Okay. Yes. Okay, so yeah, a lot of you haven't heard of it before, simply because it's something that was created by, it's showing us here on the top left. What, can you see yourself or something on my screen on the top left? Oh, okay. I got you. Sorry, this is my first time using this webinar platform. Normally I just go live in the Facebook group or something. So yeah, it's all kind of new to me right now. Okay, so I'll explain an ICT bullish and bearish order block. A lot of you are asking for that. Do you mark order block with their highs or the bodies? 1 second, Vern. So I'll explain that in just a sec. Okay, so ICT bullish and bearish order blocks. So they're not something that's going to be taught in the textbook or what taught really by anyone other than ICT himself, because he's the one who came up with this. And they are just terms that he came up with to define support and resistance levels that he's found to be very influential over the years of his trading. So if any of you didn't know, ICT is my mentor. He's the one who basically taught me how to trade. He does like free tutorials and stuff on YouTube, and he had like a mentorship. So that's essentially where I've learned everything I know in terms of trading. So what is an ICT bullish and bearish order block? An ICT bullish order block is, let me actually just pull up a fresh chart so it'll be nice and clean. Let me find a clear one. Okay, so an ICT bullish order block is a down candle before an up move. So this whole candle here would be considered an ICT bullish order block once the candles broke above it. So it's not really confirmed that it's an ICT bullish order block until the down candle is broken by an up candle. So for example, this is an ICT bullish order block. So it should hold as support. Say the market trades into it and then trades higher. So an ICT bullish order block is a down candle before a move up. Okay, so I know a lot of people that teach support and resistance and all that are looking for where do all the bodies line up, you know, blah, 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 all that stuff. And that works, you know, as like if you look at the chart right now, this line I just drew on the bottom of this ICT bullish order block is quote unquote a good support and resistance level, right? Because look at the price action we've gotten around that level. Traded up, boom, consolidated. Look at how we've hung around the level, but each time it comes up to it, resistance, resistance, trades through it, finds a little bit of support. Like you can see how influential the level is, right? So if we drew it on the high of the candle, same thing. Zoom out and you're going to get the same thing. All the candles are lining up. So it's just it's an easier way of, like when you're drawing your support and resistance, you know, do it with whatever way you feel comfortable with and whatever works for you. But in terms of marking out the levels and, you know, my support and resistance levels, I've just found using ICT bullish and bearish order blocks to be the easiest thing to identify support and resistance within the market for me. So does that make sense for an ICT bullish order block? I'll explain a bearish one now. So type yes in the chat box if you understand what an ICT bullish order block is. Okay, perfect. And also keep in mind, if any of you guys are confused on any of the things that I talk about that, you know, ICT's created, just search Inner Circle Trader or ICT on YouTube, and he has multiple different videos on his concepts and the things that he teaches. So, you know, that would be a good resource for you guys to use to understand deeper on how I analyze the markets, because it's all based off of ICT's concepts. Okay, so everybody understands what an ICT bullish order block is. Perfect. So now let's look at an ICT bearish order block. Let me take a look at cable real quick just to see. All right. So yeah, you could see now we're trading into the 1 hour time frame ICT bullish order block. So this may be the level that they're going to use to buy off of. Again, if we break it, no big deal. It can break below this, and then, you know, at that point, we would wait for a continuation lower below this low to confirm a break in market structure, and then we just wait for a retest and look to short it. But at the moment, since my higher time frame bias is long, I'm looking for longs. So until I get a confirmation there's no longs and no buyers in the market, then I'd look to short it, right? Because the market could only move up or down. And again, I'm not looking for crazy amounts of pips. I'm just looking for 20, 30 pips to catch during the day, during the session, whatever, get in, get out, and be done. So again, no big deal. If it doesn't work out for a buy, no big deal. We'll look for a sell, and we'll go from there. So let's go over what an ICT bearish order block is while we're still waiting for that. So again, just to clarify if anybody's just joining or anything, I'm waiting for GBP USD to confirm to me that the buyers are in the marketplace before going long this pair. As of right now, there's no indication to me to go long because this is just a strong fucking bearish candle down. So until I have a bullish candle, at least confirming some type of buying, you know, my eyes aren't really on this looking for a buy at the moment because I don't have anything suggesting to me that I should buy this yet. So while we're waiting, let's go over an ICT bearish order block, and let me try to find a clear one for you guys. All right, let's try UCAD because this is the one that we've had the nice price action on. All right, so I'm not sure if any of you guys watched my USD CAD breakdown. I forgot what video I did it in, but I broke down USD CAD and I was just saying how, you know, I'm looking for further downside on this. I think we were around somewheres in here maybe. I think we were in here. Whenever I made the video. I may be wrong though. We may have been in this little consolidation here. Anyways, I was just looking for continuation lower below each swing low on USD CAD. Right, so I was looking for this swing, got that, retested it. Looking for this swing low, got that, retested it, sold off. And then now obviously I'm looking for this. So let's go over an ICT bearish order block. And I thought I would have a clear example within this price action for y'all, but I did not. So let's try this. Okay, here you go. These candles here. So on a 4-hour time frame, it's 2 candles, but if it was an 8-hour time frame, it would just be 1 candle. So I'm using both of these candles as the ICT bearish order block. All right. So I mark this out, and what a bearish order block is it's just the complete opposite from a bullish order block. So it's an up candle before a down move. It's never confirmed as an ICT bearish order block until you get a candle that trades through it. All right, so we're on a 4-hour time frame. We need a 4-hour candle to close bearish below the up candle. If we get that, it's confirmed as an ICT bearish order block. All right, so any trade up into this level should hold as resistance. All right, we haven't had the market trade up into it yet. So if it does at some point, then we would expect this level to hold as resistance. Let me show you an example of where it happened. Look at this candle here. This up candle, then you have this down candle, never broke below this candle. Then you have this candle, never broke this candle. Then you have this candle here, broke it, confirms this candle here is an ICT bearish order block. Look at what happens. Trades right up into it, immediately sells off. Guys, that's a 217 pip move. You would have been risking 33 pips. So I'm not sure if this is making sense to you guys or not, but if you analyze your support and resistance levels off of a higher time frame, daily, 4-hour, then you can catch massive amounts of pips by just simply waiting. So you You never know that this is an ICT bearish order block until you get this move. Once you get this move, you simply just wait. So in terms of waiting, you're waiting 8 hours for this. 4 hours, 4 hours. So your 8 hours goes by, trades up into it, and then sells off. So an example of, something that you can do to, not just be looking at the chart for 8 hours straight is you can set like, if you right click and go to trading and do alert, the high on this candle is 30541. All right, that's close enough. So this little alert will now make like a sound on MetaTrader letting me know that my level has been hit. So if I'm asleep or whatever and I have the charts up and the market comes all the way up here, then I'll know that my level has been hit for a potential sell opportunity. Also, that could be a potential limit order where you could set a pending sell limit order for the market whenever it trades back up there to put you in the marketplace with a sell, and then you would just have your stop loss above this high, and then as far as targets, you would just be targeting each swing low on a 4-hour basis. So I would have exited after we cleared out this low here, which is still 134 pips with a 30 pip risk. So does that make sense for an ICT bearish order block? Again, type yes in the comments if you understand. If not, I'll go over another one. All right, so we broke that level, 149. We've broken that level so far on an hourly basis, but I would need a close below this level to confirm. Okay, cool. Got it. So everybody understands what an ICT bearish order block is. Perfect. So Vern, I know you had a question. I'm going. Okay. Vern asked, do you mark order block with their highs or the bodies? So in terms of whether I use the high or the body for the bullish or bearish order blocks, honestly, man, I just use the whole entire candle. So I use, like in this example, ICT bullish order block, I've just mapped out the whole entire candle. And if I drop into a lower time frame, like say 15 minute, I just watch what price does in that support level in this case. So it's an ICT bullish order block, so it's support. So I'm watching price action to see what happens in there. I'm not necessarily watching just specifically the open or the high or anything of the order blocks. I just map out the whole candle. So if, like in this situation, if we break the candle on an hourly basis, then that would confirm to me that they're not using this to buy. They're probably going to use it to sell if they close below it and then come back and retest. That would more than likely be a selling opportunity because they were buying here. We know that they were buying here because they broke this market structure right here, came back down, retested it, then broke this market structure. So that confirms to me that there was buying going on within this candle. So if they close below that candle, that would indicate to me that more than likely they're going to want to trade back up into it and use it as a resistance level to sell off of. So does that make sense, Vern, for how I use the highs or the bodies? Okay. All right, cool. Yeah. So yeah, you can, like ICT basically says test both, so you can test whether you like using the bodies or the wicks or any of that stuff. Just, you have to go spend the time in your charts for whatever pair you're analyzing. So, cable may react off of the bodies and USD JPY may react off of the highs more. You just really never know until you spend the time going through and analyzing what does what. And I mean, if you think about it, that's how ICT was able to come up with the things that he's come up with, is based off of his time spent in the charts. So until I really realized that I wasn't doing much. So I know a lot of you guys that are new are probably doing the same thing. You're probably just watching my videos and, you know, expecting to see what happens in the market. Yeah, you can record this, man. I'm actually recording it already. So, I mean, if you want to record it on your own, go for it. But yeah, I'm recording it to share with everybody once it's over. Cool. So does anybody else have any questions while we're still on here? No more questions? So I was really looking to take a trade with you guys live while we were on the session, but can't take a trade if we don't have anything clear that sets up for us, which is no big deal because we still have New York session in the morning. Let's take a look at the news calendar for that real quick. So now you guys can actually see real time what I do if the trade pans out and if it doesn't. So news release for GBP, we were expecting potential retracement to show us some bullish price action, then go long. We didn't get that. So we're basically waiting to get a clear view on price and GBP USD to see what we get, and then we'll go from there. All right, so so we have monetary policy, rate statement for CAD. So USD CAD could be a big mover during New York session. We've got multiple high impact Canadian dollar release. We've got crude oil inventories, which if you guys don't know, USD CAD is directly correlated to oil. So if oil moves up, well, they're inversely correlated. So if oil moves up, USD CAD will move down. But in terms of crude oil inventories, this is usually a volatile news event for USD CAD. Okay. Do you upload this to YouTube? I will upload this in the Facebook group. I'm not sure if I'm going to put it on YouTube yet. I have to watch it after and see what the quality looks like and how everything looks if I'm going to put it on YouTube. But it'll for sure be posted in the Facebook group. What broker do you use and why? So I am using JAFX at the moment. What you guys are looking at over here is a demo account, though. This is a Trader's Way demo account. And this was the broker that I was using before I used JAFX, and I just had a demo account with them, and that's the demo account that I still use. So, and real quick, if none of you guys are still using a demo account, then you're really messing up because you need to be practicing on a demo account consistently to get the confidence that you need in order to trade on a live account. So I still use a demo account in some cases to test certain things. So like, for example, the past 2 weeks, I've taken a trade on Sundays, on both Sundays, testing like something that I've been seeing in the charts frequently, and I'm just testing that. And I'm using a demo account to do it because obviously I don't have enough experience testing that scenario with a live account, so I'm not going to put real money behind it. So just a little insight. But I use JAFX for my live account, and the reason why I use it is because they have crypto, forex, indices, stocks. They pretty much have everything that you want to look at. And yeah, it's a good broker to use if you're starting with like a smaller account in terms of building it with leverage. So Yeah, but I mean, I don't recommend like, starting an account with JAFX for $100 and then put in like 1 to 1,000 leverage and trying to get, $1,000. I mean, $100 to $100,000 in 2 weeks. But yeah, I mean, honestly, man, I have a couple different brokers. It's just the one that I recommend for all you guys to use, and the one that I use for my smaller account is JAFX, and I haven't had any trouble with them, and the main reason is just because I can look at everything on there. So if I don't typically trade crypto, I do sometimes trade the indices like S&P 500 or something like that for New York session. Very rarely, but if I do, JAFX gives me the option to do that on leverage. So that's why I like using them. I was using Trader's Way before, but Trader's Way doesn't give me the option to trade all the indices or the same amount of like cryptos and stocks and shit that you get with JAFX. So hope that helped, Jason. How did you change Forex Factory news to your time zone? Okay, so if you're on Forex Factory and your times are messed up and you need to fix them to your own time zone, all you're going to want to do is click the little time block here. If you click it, it'll give you the option to switch to wherever you're at, and then from there you can change the time zone. And also, if you didn't know, you can click this little, I don't even know what this is, like a time glass or something, and click that, and you can adjust it to show only the certain pairs that you want to see news events for. So for me, I just select the orange and the red, which is the medium and high impact news. And I mean, I don't ever trade Swissy, so I don't even look at that or this. And I mean, honestly, I don't really trade NZD, AUD. So yeah, I could just keep all these on my chart and I'm good. Euro, GBP, USD, CAD, and JPY, and I'll be good. So that's another little thing that you could do to filter out your Forex Factory, because the last thing you want to do is be looking at too many pairs at once. So if you're looking at, 6 different pairs with news and then you're trying to pick one for a setup, you're just going to get your head all fucked up trying to find something good. So stick to one pair, especially if you're just starting out. But yeah, that's how you fix all the stuff up on Forex Factory. All right, so dollar index is pushing up right into that 4-hour ICT bearish order block. Honestly, guys, I'm thinking what's going to happen is they're just going to break right through that. They're going to take dollar index up, and they're going to just keep smashing GBP USD lower. And if that's the case, cool, no big deal. We'll just wait. Once we get a little retracement on GBP, we'll short it. So, but you could see, I mean, it's shooting down, right? So how can I could sell this right now, but if I sold it, I'm going to put my stop loss above here for 141 pips. I'm not comfortable doing that. So if any of you guys want to do that, go for it, but that's not me. But yeah, next place I think they're going is below this low here. Once we get that break, whether that be now, an hour from now, if we get a retest of that level during New York session or something like that, that'll be a good opportunity for me to short it. All right, let's see. Let me scroll up and find the questions again. What was my aha moment? Like, do you just mean like where, like when I felt like I understood it all, Arnold? I don't really know how to answer that. I guess I don't really know like when it was, but in terms of like how did I know? It's just kind of like I could pull up this chart completely blank. So I could look at this chart like this, just starting from a daily time frame, and just get an idea of what I'm looking for. And once I was able to like understand that, like okay, I can understand where I think that they're going to want to go. I knew that I was getting somewhere, like I was developing, but once I was able to essentially mark out like levels, for example, so I don't know, say I had this level marked up on my charts, this, and the market, traded right into it and just skyrocketed the other way. Once I started seeing myself like able to pick the level that it was going to likely trade to, and then, find support or resistance there and then reverse, I pretty much knew that I was getting the hang of it to where I could likely tell what they're going to do and what direction they're going to want to go in. So that was kind of like, like I get this, because at the end of the day, like you'll realize as you get further along that it's really a simple thing. Like trading is really simple. It's just like I have repeated my trading strategy and my trading plan probably over 100 times since just starting the grouper and all that. But a lot of people, they just like, you can't hear it. Like you can't hear what I'm saying unless you're actually in the charts, like testing it constantly. And that's kind of where I was at for my first 2 years. I really wasn't like testing anything in the charts. I was just mainly watching a video and then thinking that I understood what was in the video. But in all reality, like if you're not implementing the stuff that you're learning, you're not really learning it to the full potential. So I started doing that mainly. I really started going super hardcore on marking up my levels, staying in the charts, watching for the level to get hit. But whenever the level would get hit, I was waiting for confirmation. So I guess really my biggest aha moment was whenever I was starting to develop patience, like able to just wait. Like we've been on this live session for an hour now, and we've watched cable drop 140 pips. And I wanted to buy it, but I'm not affected by missing a trade or, it not going in my favor, because I know what the market is trying to do, right? We just have to read what price action is saying. So it's real simple. Everybody that was buying this market, everybody was long this market. Look at a daily time frame. Strong push up. We've had no real retracements down yet. Well, look at today. We're getting a nice little push down retracement. What could be happening? I don't know if you guys remember at the beginning of the live session, we talked about this daily swing. And I said, until we get a real break below this low, doesn't confirm that we have a break in market structure. So this is still bullish. Overall, this pair is still bullish. But we could just be getting a lower retracement on a daily time frame before continuing higher. So we could just get a little push into this ICT bullish order block and then get the move up. All right, so that, just keep in mind, that's why we always have to work from a higher time frame basis. So if we see the market trading into this, say tomorrow, London session, the market's trading right into this, we drop down on a lower time frame and we get a break in market structure showing bullish price action, we can long this and set our target above here, targeting that, as a potential swing opportunity, because we're entering off the daily time frame. Stop loss below here, target up there. Yeah, it's 100 pip stop loss, but if you're using proper risk management, that's 300 pips, so it's still 3-1. So we'll see what we get in cable. But a lot of you will realize, like, you're stressed out right now, probably trying to look for a trade 24/7 and trying to be trading 24/7, when in all reality you're supposed to just be forming a plan. You need to form your plan, stick to your plan, and that's it. Only trade your plan. Once you do that and spend enough time in the charts, like you'll realize you'll start seeing it. Because there's not much that goes into trading. It's just your mind that'll end up fucking you up the most of the time. So the market can only move up or down. Only use higher time frame to base your trades off of. Look for your setup on an hourly time frame after market structure has been broken, and enter off a 15-minute or a 30-minute time frame or lower. Look for your entries, and that's it. That's essentially my whole trading plan. Okay, so I'm going back to the questions, guys. I know that one was a little bit longer than normal. How to pick pairs to focus on for the day. So we went over that at the beginning. I'm not sure if you were here or not. I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly. Sorry if I butchered that. But so I just pick my pairs for the day. Every time that I sit at the charts at night or in the morning, depending on whether it's London or New York session, I look at Forex Factory. And if you don't know what Forex Factory is, it's just a site that tells you all the upcoming news releases. And for example, the live session started at 1 and there was GBP news coming out at 1:30. So I chose to go with GBP USD as my trade for the night. And that's what we were watching, but we never had a clear setup yet. So we never entered the market. So that's pretty much how that's how I pick my pair to focus on for the day. And I only have 4 pairs that I watch. I only watch Euro, GBP, USD CAD, and USD JPY. But if you're brand new, just starting out, you should only be watching 1 pair. You should never watch more than 1 pair because then you're just going to cloud your head. Hey, Jason, I have no idea what STP means, so just let me know what that is. Ryan, what's up, Ryan? Do you think the big push up in Euro GBP influenced this big move down in cable? Okay, good point. Let's take a look. Yep, for sure. So, all right, perfect example, guys. So let's do this real quick. Let me clear all this out. All right. Okay. So we got 3 charts pulled up. We got GBP USD, Euro USD, and Euro GBP. And let me get on hourly time frame. All right. So if you trade, any pair that you trade has a cross pair. Okay. So if you trade, Canadian dollar and yen, then look at CAD JPY as your cross pair to determine the direction of one of the pairs that you're looking at. So Ryan made a really good point. He said, do you think the big push up in Euro GBP influenced this big move in cable? Well, if we look at dollar index, we're getting a strong push up in dollar index. So that already should suggest weaker prices in GBP USD. We marked out from the beginning of the session, though, that we said we could get a retracement into this ICT bearish order block. So whether they're going to be selling it or not here, we don't know until we see that in price action. But we can use Euro GBP just like we use the dollar index to determine the direction. So if Euro GBP is moving higher, that would mean higher prices in Euro, weaker prices in cable. So just think about it. Euro GBP. Euro goes up. That means the Euro is stronger than the cable. All right. So I hope that makes sense. I've actually kind of spoke about that a little bit in my video, but notice how strong push up in Euro GBP. No real movement in Euro dollar. Strong drop in GBP USD. Right? So all that means is Euro GBP has literally been in this range until here. Euro GBP has been in this range since September of 2017. And it's just been trading sideways, doing absolutely nothing. So once the market trades out of that, well, then we get some movement, right? So we've traded below it, and as of right now, we're just retesting the break-in structure. So this is technically still bearish until we do break above the high. But regardless of that, on an intraday basis, on an hourly time frame, we had a strong push up. We didn't break the high yet, but because of this strong move, we got a strong push down in GBP. All right, so the news that came out was obviously not that good for cable. And we see that reflected in price action. Cable, because you can watch the pound like TV. Yeah, cable, because you can watch the pound like TV. That's just what everybody calls the GBP, USD, and Forex. No worries, Ryan. So does anybody else have any questions? Just to go over again real quick what I'm looking for going forward. If the dollar index, GBP USD, let me take this off. If GBP USD breaks below this low here, 141.55, that would indicate a break. We've already had a break in market structure on GBP USD. Like technically we had the break in market structure here, okay? Because we were making higher highs and higher lows. Up until this point, we dropped down and we made a lower low. Retested this ICT bearish order block and then sold off. So this was technically a break in market structure, but I wasn't awake or wasn't watching the charts during this time. So I would just feel more comfortable before shorting this if we took out this low. If we don't take out that low, then we could just be getting a deep retracement and holding this as support and then trading higher. Because if you look, if I draw my my fib, we're just right below the 79% retracement level. So if this candle closes bullish, then we're just finding support and respecting that. But at the moment, we haven't done that. So if we do find support here and we are showing bullish price action on a 15-minute time frame, so we get a push up, then we get a higher low that's formed, and then we get this, a break in structure on a lower time frame, then I'd be looking to enter based off this retest. So that's what I'm going to be looking for in terms of a buy for this. And then in terms of a sell, I'm waiting for this low. So if this low breaks, retest could be a good shorting opportunity. Why does my chart keep doing this? All right. So retest of this level if we break through it on an hourly basis. So I need an hourly candle to close bearish below this, then an hourly candle to come up and retest it. But as that hourly candle is bullish coming to retest this, I'm going to be looking at a lower time frame to confirm that they're selling. So that's how I would go short. And obviously, I'll keep you guys updated in the Telegram chat with what I do with this. But at the moment, there is nothing clear. You can see Euro USD, they're just holding it completely sideways because they're letting Euro GBP move. So these three pairs all should be working in sync. So if Euro GBP is moving, then it's likely that these two pairs could just be stuck in consolidation, or one of them is stuck in consolidation while the other one's moving. And that's really all we're seeing here right now. Euro USD is stuck in consolidation. They're letting Euro GBP rally, and they're letting cable drop. All right, so yeah, really the only thing, I'm going to take a look at CAD too after, let's just take a look at it now. Okay, find it. USD CAD. I'm going to be watching this going into New York. I'm not going to take a trade on this until probably after the news release, just because there's so much. Anytime that happens, we could just get a lot of spikes in and out of the market. So spike up, spike down, and they could just run the stops. So I don't want to take part in that. So I'm going to look to enter probably after the news if I look to take anything on USD CAD. For this pair, I'm honestly expecting them to want to come above these highs. So whether they come above these highs and hold it, so they could push up above here and say that closes on a strong bullish candle, get a retest, show us some bullish price action because they're buying here. Again, the bullish price action is the same thing that I just keep outlining. Push up, higher low forms, breaking structure on a lower time frame, comes back and retests that breaking structure, and look for a continued move up. All right, so I wouldn't enter until I have this pattern form. So a low, high, higher low, then a higher high. I would enter on this higher low, which would be the retest of this. So that's how I would go long this. And if we traded up there and we started to see resistance, so say we push up and we just get a ugly wick that just spikes up above here during the news release, and then we drop down to a 15-minute and we see price starting to reject in terms of bearish price action, I would just be looking for the exact opposite to unfold. So I want to be a seller in this market. So I want to be selling USD CAD, but I don't want to sell it until I've had a clear move above this. So are they going to want to take it above here and then push it higher, or are they going to want to take it above here, reject, and then go lower? Okay, so Arnold, will you be doing more of these live sessions? Yeah, I'm going to do more of them. So real quick, before I go into this, does anybody else have any other questions real quick? How do you practice patience in every aspect of your life? I mean, it's hard, man. Like when life is super busy. So, I mean, just in terms of practicing patience, like I try to take at least 15 to 30 minutes to just go chill out, get away from the charts. Like obviously I spend more time than 15 or 30 minutes away from the charts, but every day I try to go away from the charts and not really look at my phone or the computer or anything. So sit outside, go walk around, listen to music, meditation, like whatever it is. But I try to do all that. I've been trying to do like a meditation thing recently, like use one of the meditation apps on my phone, but I don't think I've quite mastered the meditation thing yet because my brain is still moving. So yeah, I don't really have a definite answer on how I practice patience. I just try to do everything I can, man. It's hard as hell to be patient because I'm one of the most impatient people I know, but trading has taught me patience, honestly, and helping all you guys, like watching the markets and understand this stuff is also helping, further develop my patience because I want to show you guys what being patient will do. And yeah, being patient, you could miss moves, but in all reality, like you can't see every single move unfolding, okay? And looking at it in hindsight, yeah, maybe you can come up with an idea with why it traded lower, but I had a plan going into the night. That plan didn't work out, so I just formulate a new plan and I look for my next trade. Super simple. missed because I traded the new GBP USD. I'm not sure what that means, Golda. Okay, so Arnold, the only reason I asked if they had more questions because I wanted to talk about this at the end of the live session. So I'm not sure if Keith is still in here, but he is the only one so far that is a member of like my paid group. And I'm not doing like any type of paid thing where it's like a like I don't know how to explain it. Like most paid services, like you have all these different packages and like all this crazy shit. I'm just on a simple $25 a month, very low cost. And the reason I'm doing that is because when you guys commit to buying something, you're more likely to put more effort in it. So I can build up this free group, and I'm going to continue to build up the free group and give as much value to you guys as I can. But ultimately, whenever you're giving stuff away for free, people take it for granted and they don't like to actually put in the effort. So I've started a more personal paid group. It's only $25 a month. There have been 6 people that requested to join. Keith has been the only one who has actually taken action and committed to paying the $25 a month. So Arnold, to answer your question, yes, I am doing more live sessions. In terms of doing them in the free group, I'm going to try to do at least once a month. It depends on what we get in terms of how much time I have with the paid group and stuff. But I am going to be doing 3 live sessions a month for the paid group, and that is going to be 3 or more trade signals a week, as well as direct access to me via a private chat. So we can basically go over any questions you have within the charts or anything like that. And yeah, so I just wanted to bring Keith up because he's the only person so far that's done it. And, you know, it's just me and him communicating so far, but I think that he's going to, you know, find a lot of value from it. And if anybody is interested in that, then make sure to reach out to me so I can get you all set up and we'll go forward with that. But again, if that's not something you're interested in, no worries. I'll still be in the free group, still be sending signals in the Telegram. I'm just going to, I'll be spending more time in the charts live with the people who commit. So that's kind of how the live sessions are going to go. So does anybody else have any other questions before we wrap this up? So the payment, yeah, no worries about, so no one can see the questions that you send to me privately. I won't say your name, but yes, you can pay me via PayPal. So reach out to me via Facebook or reach out to me via Instagram at JROD4X. And what I'll do is I'll invoice you from PayPal, and then you just send me the $25. And I will add you into a secret group, a secret Facebook group that'll be for the paid members, and then I'll set you up with the Telegram private chat as well. So yeah, if anybody else is interested in that, make sure to send me a message and I will get you all connected. But yeah, that's it for the live session. I know I went a little bit longer than an hour, but I hope you guys got some value from it. So if you did learn something while you were here or felt like this was, you know, actually beneficial, could you just type a yes in the comments so I know I didn't waste my time? Awesome. Thanks, guys. Zach, what's your favorite song to trade to? To be honest, man, I'm not sure. I'm a big hip hop fan, so I listen to a lot of like rap and whatnot. And I'm not sure if you've heard of the rapper Russ, but Russ released a new song, and it's shit, I forgot the name. I think it's called "Sometimes I Wish I Was." I don't know. Hold up. Wish I Was Broke, I think. I don't know, dude. Hold up. Let me find the name. It's called Since I Was Broke. Yeah, so Russ released a song called Since I Was Broke, and that's probably been like my favorite song listening to for trading so far. But I listen to anything hip hop while I'm trading. I don't know. I just like to get like super hype, and that's what hypes me up whenever I'm trading. So Golda, send me a message on Facebook, and we'll figure it out. We'll get you set up. Yeah, thank all you guys for showing up. I really appreciate it. Yeah, seriously. Yeah, man. It's a new song, so I was trying to think of what the name of it was, and I couldn't remember. Yeah, it's called "Since I Was Broke" by Russ. Uh, yeah, and I don't know. I could totally relate to that song. So yeah, yeah, Gangsta Trader. Yep. So I am gonna end the session, guys. If you have any other questions, I'll hang out for like 2 more minutes until 2:30, and then we'll shut it down. So if you have any other questions, send them through real quick before I end the session. And other than that, I'll talk to you guys in the Facebook group, or just reach out on Facebook and we'll connect and we'll talk. All right. Looks like there's no more questions, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the session. Again, thank you all for attending. And yeah, if we haven't talked yet, reach out to me on Facebook or Instagram, and yeah, send me over some charts, whatever. I'll take a look at them for you, and I'll try to help out in the best way I can. All right, guys. So that's it. Have a good one, man. Yeah. Have a good one, guys. Take it easy.